Really, it would be ladder. I think I would tell you a story. Like when I was here, when we had the old facility, some of the fastest feet I ever saw was some of the women's soccer team. You know, moving through ladders. I was just blown away. It was just, I was like, wow. You know, so soccer players have tremendous twitchiness in terms of their footwork. It's out of this world. You know, and so. I started studying what kind of ladder drills and footwork drills they were doing. It was very similar to what football players, were doing as well. So just a lot of different ladder combination, icky shuffle, in and outs, hip twists. I can go on and on. The list goes forever. So just really grateful for just having an opportunity, like I say, to learn from, sports, soccer, so.
I think that's something that, oh, go ahead.
Oh, you're good, Matt. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think that's something that's helped you just pulling from so many different avenues kind of gone throughout your coaching career?
Yes, so I was here. I had two defensive line coaches here. I had, let's see. Well, actually, I was an outside linebacker before I ate myself into the defensive tackle room. But I had Brick Haley was my outside linebackers coach, and then they brought in Thylan Smith from when Tommy Bowden got here, and then I went out to Denver. I had Jacob Burney, who was a longtime defensive line coach in the NFL. I left there, and then I was with Romeo Cornell, who was a defensive line coach, but he was my head coach in Cleveland, and Randy Melvin. And I went to John Mitchell when I was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then my last coach, God forgive me if he's watching this interview, I forgot his name, but in Arizona. So I've had about 6 or 7 defensive line coaches. So it's a combination of all of them. That's just been great. And then when I got into coaching, I worked with Joe Cullen, who's been, a known, very good defensive line coach in the NFL for many, many years. Just recently was with the Jacksonville Jaguars as the defensive coordinator. Is now out with the Kansas City Chiefs, I think. And so he's there. And I work with Giff Smith, who is spending a lot of time in college. So I've accumulated a lot of different things, and even just going to coaching clinics, learning from some of the coaches that's coaching the collegiate level as well for a long time. So I've just kind of pulled it all in, together. So it's been great.
Dabo mentioned wanting someone with NFL experience.
Mm-hmm.
Just what are the biggest things that you can share with these guys about what they need to know when they make that transition?
I think for me, the first thing they needed to know, talking about the character piece and the evaluation piece outside this building. I've tried to explain to guys when it comes to the NFL, that evaluation period starts as soon as you step foot on this campus. Scouts are here years ahead of time. They're talking to your academic counselors. They're talking to training room staff. They're talking to local police, just trying to get as much information on you as they can. And I've spent 9 years there as a coach, so I've seen the reports, and it's just amazing the amount of information they get on a particular player that's at the draft, because they're going to invest millions of dollars into this player. And so I've talked to them about that, man, just making sure that they understand that everything you do matters. Going to class matters. How you treat people matters. And so those little things matter, every day. And so then just talk to them about just working hard, just putting in the hard work and really having an understanding that in order to play at that next level, you have to be willing to sacrifice things that people aren't willing to sacrifice. Getting extra sleep, not going out and partying, just keeping yourself, in places around people that's trying to go where you're trying to get. And so, I have a lot of information from that, and I think they've absorbed that. I challenge them also. I mean, we have the best facility probably in the country, I'm assuming. I would say so. And then we're actually, even getting better and upgrading our training room facility. But we have a place called the Castle, man. There's, we got cryo chambers in there, massage therapists, float tanks, whatever tank you name it, we have it, And so I told guys, I challenged them, like, man, you guys, you have an opportunity to have this, and it's for free. In the pros, you have to pay for the massage therapist. You have to pay to get in the cryo chamber. You have to pay to get in the float bubble. You might spend $40,000 to $50,000 on your body a year with acupuncture and yoga and everything else. You're here at Clemson, you can prepare to be a pro by just being the best Clemson Tiger that you can possibly be. And they have everything they need here. And so I really, especially in the defensive line room with all the injuries we had, just challenge guys, man, to be more proactive, in terms of just make sure you do the things you need to do to prevent, go preventive, measures and do things ahead of time so you don't get hurt. And that comes with taking advantage of our castle that we have here and our training room, getting in the cold tub, stretching at night, sleeping, putting the right things in your body. So those things are really important.
So when you got the job, do you have any of those guys come to you and ask specifically, what do I need to do to get to the next level?
I think they have asked. I think I probably talked so much that they kind of didn't give them a chance to ask. But I've had guys come in. Bresee, he was one of the first that's been around. He was around me a lot, in my office every day, just kind of talk to him about it. Because, these guys, all of them are going to have an opportunity to play at the next level. And, so I've just, I talked to him about it as soon as I got here. But like I said, I think it was important that, hey, how you doing? My name is Nick Eason. I'm from Lyons, Georgia. I grew up in a town of 3,000 people, and I had 62 people in my graduation class. Where are you from? And so those are the things that were important to me when I first got here. But those conversations about, what they need to do to get to the next level probably came 2 or 3 weeks later. So
Bresee, how is he coming along? And when you watch, I know you haven't seen him personally, but when you watch film and stuff, studying him, just what stands out about him?
Oh man, just he's a very physical football player, athletic, twitchy. He can do it all. He's an all 3-down player. He's very competitive. He wants to win. He wants to be great. He wants to be the best. I think the biggest thing is, man, he's so eager to get back. I mean, I texted him the other day. I said, man, I know what it feels like to watch. I tore my Achilles when I was here right before the Gator Bowl when we was getting ready to play down in Jacksonville. So I told him, I know what it feels like to watch, man, but just be patient. And so I'm going to need you when we go down to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. He's just been so eager, but he's been very involved in the meetings, in our walkthroughs. He got out there on the walkthrough. I said, hey, I'm gonna let you get a rep, but you better not go full speed. I'm gonna take you out. So, but he's been really, really good for our room and just really encouraging the other guys, while at the same time making sure he's staying in the training room, strengthening all the things he needs to strengthen, and he's gonna be great.
Coach, when you first got to the NFL, I don't think it was really easy for you.
No.
What were you dealing with mentally at that time?
Oh man, it was a lot of stuff. I mean, I think it was I moved far away from home, and first time I've been away from my family. I think I hated football. I think I probably hated all my coaches too at the time. But it was just so much in my mind at the time. I was miserable. And, I went through a huge adjustment, as you know, during that period of time, man, and had a lot of maturing to do. I thought I was mature. I mean, I was a, defensive team captain here for a couple of years, man. I went out there and, at the time, I don't think I was a fit for what they were doing. And, I kind of, took it upon myself to take a couple of vacation days while I was there. And, it ended up being the worst decision of my life, I think. I used that as a story. I left training camp, and people thought I was missing. As a matter of fact, there was a basketball player that was, I think, at Baylor that was missing at the time. I think it made him end up deceased, that was dead. And so everybody was calling me and stuff, and I was like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm a 4th-round draft pick, nobody cares. But I realized, like, you're in the NFL, everybody cares, everybody wants to know. But, I took a couple of days off and decided to come back and talk to my teammates, and came back and ended up playing for 11 years. So it worked out, I guess.
Did you just go home to think?
That's all. Yeah, didn't go home, but I, took a little vacation. Yeah, it is some space. That's all. But it was good. I'm thankful for that. I look back on everything that happened to my career, even being here, tearing my Achilles, and that situation and things I went through. It all just worked out for my good in the end. And that's just another one of those teaching moments for me with my players to pass on the information. Like, hey guys, listen, coach ain't always been perfect. I made some mistakes in life, man. But if you just keep pressing, keep pushing, man, and stay focused, man, good things will come out on the other side of it.
Nick, you mentioned simplifying. When you take over a group that has this much talent and experience, do you have to be careful not to overcoach? I guess if that's a thing.
No, I mean, I think we talking about simplifying. I think for me, it's just giving them, like, our goals for this spring was like 3 things. Yeah. It might have been footwork, directional steps, and hands. I didn't want to I seen a lot more than that. But if I gave us 15 different goals, we might not ever accomplish any of them. So I wanted to just focus on those 3 little attention to details with have a 3.0 as a group or a GPA plus or better, with that leading with the educational part of it, and then just focusing on 3 different things. And I think that guys feel like we've accomplished something, but I couldn't give them 15 different goals. I don't think we have enough time to accomplish all of them. So when I talk about simplifying, I'm just talking about getting good at those 3 different things. And I think guys can see themselves, progress each day because we're just doing the same thing over and over and over. And I think that's one of the things that I've learned, especially when I played in Pittsburgh. I always refer back to them because I played on a really, really good defense that was in like #1 in a lot of different categories for 5 years. And one of those reasons why John Mitchell, who's my defensive line coach, man, we did the same things every day, repetitive, and we became creatures of habit. And as I look back, I can say like, well, what was the best time of my career that I played the best technique? And it was in Pittsburgh. And we did like 3 to 4 different things. They were so boring to me, but I look back on them and I was like, man, that's why we were really good, because we did the same things every day over and over until we perfected it, And so there's been time early in my career when I was a coach, and they have all these trainers who do all the different drills on YouTube and Instagram, jumping over the bags, this, that, and the third. And so I said, man, in the beginning of my career, I started doing that too. And then I was like, well, this ain't really carrying over to what we're doing. So I went back to the basics, man. I've seen my guys get better over time. So that's been truly awesome.
Talk about the complexity of this Clemson defense. You played obviously under Dick LeBeau and Ray Horton. I mean, how does it compare in terms of complexities?
It's the same. And one thing that I've learned is about, at the end of the day, man, it's going to go back to old school, football, and cover 2 is cover 2, cover 1 is cover 1, cover 3 is cover 3. It is what it is, right? But as you go to different levels, the terms change, the adjustments change. And so that's kind of what it's been for me. It's just learning a new terminology. But a 3-4 is a 3-4, a 4-3 is a 4-3. It doesn't change. But people have learned to kind of make their own adjustments and add names to it over time. And anybody that has success is the guru for that particular defense. And so, but football is going to be football, and it's remained the same for over time. It's just a terminology that's changed. But we're just as complex as the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just different terminology, different name.
Did you come back for any big games in Death Valley over the years?
I have not. That's a really good question, man. I have not been back to a game. So this would be
Death Valley and Clemson a little unrecognizable to you, and how much it's grown in the
oh
last
my
15 years.
goodness, it's changed so much. This whole entire place. I think the West End Zone maybe started a couple of years after I got drafted, and then all of a sudden this monster of a facility popped up as well. And so, man, it's changed so much. Even the city of Clemson has changed. I mean, in the last 20 years. I mean, all the development and things everywhere. But Death Valley, man, it's just out of this world. The locker room, it's amazing. And I think that's just, Dabo and our athletic department, our ADs, IPTE, they've done a really good job, man, of just raising the funds to make this place just so special, But like I've said before, and just like, you can have the best facilities in the world and have some of the worst people, man, but we have some of the best people in these buildings, and that's what makes this place special.
Did you say you put on 8 pounds or 80 pounds?
Man, does it look like 8 or 82? You answer that question.
I think it's just 8.
Do you think it's 8? Yeah, okay, you're a funny guy.
What was the main culprit in putting on 80 pounds?
Man, you know what? I'll be honest with you. So when COVID hit in 2020 in spring, all right? So I was like, okay, this can go one either way. I'm already 370 pounds. I'm like, this could be bad. So I was like, I'm gonna go vegan, So I went vegan while I was there, and just started walking, and I lost 80 pounds, and I was doing really good until last summer. I lost my roommate, Altroy Bodrick, that was a really good friend of mine that played safety here. He passed suddenly from a heart attack. So I'm an emotional eater, and then my grandmother had a heart attack while I was on vacation last year, and so that was, she ended up living like 2.5 months later, and I was driving back and forth from Auburn twice a week, 3.5 hours there and back, just to spend time with her, man. So I just she loved food, and so I've been eating for her since she's been gone. But I got on the scale the other day. I was like, okay, enough's enough. So I actually started a juice cleanse today. So wow. I'm feeling really good, right now.
And you're going vegan again?
Yeah, I'm back. If I continue to eat, I'll be at Max. I'll be at Pixies and Bill's, Calvin Corners, and Traditions on the Lake, and McDonald's, and all that stuff. So I ate all that stuff this last week, and kind of laid it to rest. You know, had our own burial for all the bad things they eat, like Reese Cups, Snickers, you know, zebra cakes. You know, do you like zebra cakes?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So, yeah.
I feel your pain.
Talking about burials, you saw that you have funeral director books in your office. When were you thinking about being at a funeral?
Oh, man, how did you see that? What? Nah. So I had a good friend of mine in high school whose grandfather owned a funeral home back near my hometown, and I kind of took not an interest to the body part of it, just the business, and you know, thought it would be an idea. So I actually went to American McAllister Institute for Funeral Directing Services while I was coaching for the Tennessee Titans, and did a couple semesters there. So I'm not done yet, but at some point in time I'm going to finish that, and that's going to be like my little, I don't want to call it a hobby. That'll be my like entrepreneurship business, you know, when I'm done coaching. So yeah, but I'm not weird. Any more?
Thank you, Coach.
All right.